Hello everyone, welcome back to another video brought to you by webvidtuts.com. This is video 3 in the ActionScript game development series, and in this video we'll be continuing the controls of our character, and then in this video we should be able to implement the controls completely in this video. In the last video we went ahead and just made the graphics for the player sprite, and that's basically it. And we put them on the stage. So now what we have is stage with this little red square over here on the top left, and that's our player. Alright, so let's begin the video and start coding. And one more thing I need to point out, this isn't the only way you can make a the graphics on the sprite. You can actually, if you want to be an easier way, you don't have to make a variable in another sprite object and everything. You can just do this .graphics .begin fill, do this. You can replace the whole variable just using this, and because this is a sprite class. And then you don't have to actually add the child, because the child is the one getting added to the stage. And that little red square still comes up. So that's another way you can do it. It really doesn't completely matter unless you have like a bunch of variables, and then you might want to use the variables within it and everything. But that's just another way of doing it. It doesn't really matter which way you do it. Not completely anyways. They both get the job done. Now, I mean, if some master programmer out there wants to correct me, then feel free to. Remember, this series is not for optimizing the best video game ever. It's just for teaching you the basics of making video games and everything. And so, yeah, just the basics. Alright, so now let's actually move on to... excuse me. Let's move on to actually doing the controls for the game. Or for any game, basically. Basically, all we need to do in the player class, after we draw the graphics, it doesn't really matter, but well, go ahead and add an event listener. Add an event listener to listen for when a keyboard event is triggered. So when the user presses something on the keyboard or smashes on the keyboard, key down. We're listening for key down, so when they actually press a key on the keyboard down. And then we'll give it a listener function, whichever name we give the function. We'll call it key press. So every time someone presses a key on the keyboard down, it's going to trigger this this function right here, key press. And then we'll go down here. So let's make this key press function really quick. Private function key press. And then we have to pass in the event, whichever event it is. It's a keyboard event. We will not return anything, so make a void. Put curly braces down, and then let's go ahead and make one more event listener for when the keyboard event dot key up. So when they actually stop pressing down the key, they release it up and then just stop the movement. So key release will name the function. So this will be triggered, like I said, when the user actually releases the key. It's a keyboard event. And we're not passing, or we're not returning anything, so make a void. Okay, now we should be good. We have our two functions to handle the key press when the user presses the keyboard, and key release when the user releases the key from the keyboard. So let's go ahead and let's see what happens when let's test these and see if they work. Actually, we need to add stage. Let's make sure you add stage, or else it will like blow up. Because we're actually, I don't know, it's weird. But let's go ahead and test if this works. We'll just trace a little statement. We'll say you hit key if you type in e.keycode it'll output in the output section what key you pressed. So let's go ahead and debug this. Push this up. Oh geez. Alright, so if we keep hitting a bunch of keys, it'll say you hit key and then it'll return a number. That number is I'm trying to think of the word. That number is like assigned to whatever key you press. So like the left arrow key will be like 37, the up arrow key is 38, the right arrow key is 39, and the down arrow key is 40. And I do remember this from memory, so yeah. Alright, so let's go ahead and start coding the actual controls for the character on the screen, or the player on the screen. So let's go ahead and make a variable called keycode. It's int, and then we'll pass in the keycode whatever key they press. So it's kind of ambiguous, but still. So we don't have to type in e.keycode, and just type keycode down. So we'll do a switch statement to figure out which key they are pressing. So we'll do switch keycode. We'll say if they type in, if they left arrow key, which is 37, then we'll go ahead and move player, or actually this dot x. So they're moving left, so that's subtracting. Because if they hit the left arrow key with 37, then we're trying to move the x coordinate of our player to the left. So moving the player to the left will mean we have to subtract 1 from the x coordinate. And then we'll go ahead and do case 38, which is the up arrow key. So we'll do this dot y minus equals 1. As I said in the last video, the y coordinate's like all weird. It's kind of weird, and like in my opinion, it's weird because it's like opposite, and so this will be getting closer to 0, and then eventually past 0, which is above it. And then we'll do case 39, whoops, which is the right arrow key. We'll do this dot x plus equals 1 because we're moving to the right. In case 40, which is moving the object down, so we'll do plus y because we're adding 1 to the y. And let's go ahead and put our break statements in because this is a switch case statement, and if you don't put these, it'll like execute the next command or something like that. So put a break statement after every case, or else it'll like bleeds into the next one or something like that. It just messes it all up. Actually, let me bring this down a little bit. Okay, so this is basically the basics of everything right here. So let's go ahead and test this. And if we hit the left arrow key, our guy keeps moving to the left. Awesome, isn't it? If we go to the right, and we go down, hitting the left or the bottom arrow key, he goes really slow, but we can change that eventually. And if we hit up, the guy goes up. And he'll eventually be off screen. Yep, he's off screen now. And if you keep him down, he goes down. And if you keep spazzing out like that, he spazzes out. And there's something weird that happens when you hold down the arrow key though. If you hold it down, it increases speed, so this is a little bit more easier to tell. If you hold down the arrow key, you'll notice your guy will like move forward for a second, and then it takes like him a second to actually like continue going forward instead of just in a smooth like animation. It's probably easier to see when I actually increase these a lot. And there's a way to fix this. I'm going to show you how to do it. But if you notice, like, he'll move forward for a second, like that, and then he'll start going. You notice in video games, they don't actually do that. The dude doesn't just move forward for a second and then start running. Now there's a way to fix that I'm going to show you in the next video, which is why we have this, and then why we're going to add like a bunch of other stuff to make our character actually move smoothly instead of going stopping, and then start running, or start moving faster, wherever you want to say, when you actually hold down the arrow key. Now, if you just tap the arrow key, he's just going to move jerky like that anyway, so it doesn't really matter. You actually have to hold it down, and then it jerks, and then actually starts going. So the next video, we're actually going to fix that so that when you hold it down, it actually just continuously keeps going and going and going without like having jerky movements and everything. Alright, so that is the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and hope you guys learned how to use the keyboard events in Flash. Alright, so this is the end of this video. Go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel. YouTube channel. I know I have a hard time saying that. And visit our webvidtuts.com site and become a member. And thank you all very much, and have a good day. Goodbye.